All right, everyone, this week we're going to start working on our ability to upload files with PHP. So to get started, I'm going to create a new folder for week 11 lesson. And in order to upload files to PHP, one of the things that we need to check is to make sure that our installation can actually support it. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to create a new page. We're going to use a built-in function called PHP info. So we're going to go to open folder. Let's go to our here, open that up. All right, let's create a new file and just call it info.php. And so what we want to do is we're going to create, we're going to call a function that's built into PHP called PHP info. We're going to save that. Now we're going to, lots of updates right now. Now we're going to go to our browser, go to localhost / week 11 / lesson, and go to info. Now, we didn't make this page, but by putting PHP info in, what you do is you get all of the information in here about your installation of PHP. This is great if you have to, take over a web server that you haven't been familiar with, like you didn't build it yourself. You're just kind of like working on something that someone handed you down. This also lets you look at all the little settings that may be set in your initialization file. And so adjusting the initialization file of your PHP install, I feel like exceeds this class, but I want to show you where it is. And it's, or I should say, you can find this php.ini file at this location. So no matter what type of web server you're using, and if you have PHP installed and you do this info page, you can find out where that configuration file is. The other thing to know is that sometimes this PHP info is disabled. And if it is disabled, then you won't be able to see this information. If that's the case, you're going to have to talk to a system administrator or something like that in order to help you out. Let's go ahead and find out if we can upload files. The fastest way to do that is I am going to do Control F for find, and I'm going to do file. And so we have configuration file, loaded file, INI files, file, script, all of this, file uploads. They are currently set to on. That's exactly what we want for right now. We want on. All right, so that's going to be great for that. So now that we know that we can upload files, we need to start thinking about how we can, let's take a look at how we can do this. So I go to Visual Studio Code, and I was in week 11. Oh, there it is. Was in week 11. So now let's go ahead and create a new, first let's delete this file. Why am I deleting this? Because it's good habit to not have php.info just floating around on a server. Because honestly, a malicious actor could look at that and get information on how to affect the website. So let's go in, let's create a new file. We're going to call it we're going to call it file upload.php. And it starts with, it's actually HTML. Great. Let me just go to my source. And this is a pretty simple form. What it's going to do is we look at the form action. We're going to use a file called upload.php. It's going to post, and what's different is it's going to have a multi-part or form data, which means that we can upload an image. So the next thing that it has is a submit button, file button to upload. you'll see that the input type is file. And then we have our submit and upload image, and we go from there. All right, so if we want to take a look at it, this is what it's going to look like. Now, of course, it's not going to work, right? Because we don't have any other page there yet. But you'll be able to select an image and upload it. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is within week 11 lesson, we are going to upload our files to a folder. So let's make a new folder and call it uploads. And just like the SQL databases that we normally use, or that we've used before, we need to right click, you need to choose properties, we need to go to permissions, and we need to add the group as www.data. That means, as usual, that the web server will be able to make changes to this uploads. If we didn't do this, this folder would belong to us as people and not the server, and then it wouldn't be able to write to it. So we have that now that we have to worry about, or we don't have to worry about. So let's go to here and let's create a new file, and we'll just call this upload.php. Okay, so what we want to do for this is some essentially basic instructions on how to upload a file. All right, so let's just go ahead and add this PHP code that tells us how we want to upload this, or I should say like what the code is for it. It's pretty straightforward. So we open our PHP tag there. Now, the first thing we want to do is we need to set a variable called path, and it's going to be equal to uploads because that was that folder we created. Now we want to, there's path. Now we want to make an adjustment to path, which seems weird that we're doing this, but we are. Path equals path dot. So this is called base name, and base name is going to convert the file we just uploaded from a file to just its name. And so we've done underscore session, we've done underscore post, underscore get. This is underscore files. And then we're going to put what was the name of this. This looks like it was file to upload. Let's go ahead and save that. Or should I say copy it. Put that here. And then it has a name. And so if you look at this, the way this bracket is set up, this is clearly set up like an associative array or an object, right? Because it's got its thing and it's got a name. All right, so now we have a new definition for path. I'm going to close this just so I don't forget. The next thing we need to do is we need to actually basically upload, like do the moving. So when we did the form did send the file up, but it sent the file up to a temporary directory that is somewhere in the web server. Now what we need to do is move it to this path. The way we're going to do that is we're going to go to if, and then we're going to type move underscore, and you can see it's the top option. If move uploaded file, oops, I have too many. Nope, I don't. That's right. If move uploaded file underscore our files file to upload. And what about it? Its current temporary name, which is TMP underscore name. And then we do comma the path. Okay. So what that's going to do is that's going to move, it's going to move the uploaded files, this file, to the path. Why are we doing an if statement? Well, if you were in class last week, we talked a lot about like what does this if statement really mean? It means, does this render to true? So if I move my uploaded file from the temp to the path and it works, it will render as true. And then this will happen, which is echo the file. And then you can just do something silly like dot base name of, which is right here. File name dot has been uploaded, period. Okay. And then we can do a else echo there was an error. And we'll talk about all the different possible errors that can happen. I did not do a semicolon there. Okay, save it. Let's go ahead and go to our browser. I found a really great website called pixum.photos, and it's just generic photos. So I downloaded a couple for this example. Great. Okay, so let's go to our home, which is localhost. Geez, week 7. It really likes to pop up. Go to file upload. Okay, choose a file. I'm going to go to my downloads, which is there. I'm going to just pick a random file, hit select, upload the image, and it says the file has been uploaded. Now, if I go to my web root and I go to my week lesson, I go to uploads. This is one I practiced with earlier. This file is there. So that's kind of rad. So now I have this file accessible however I want it. Now, the way we have this currently set up is that it can be, or we can do it with really any type of file. So if I'm not mistaken, I can go to a text editor. They call it mousepad in this. Another line in a text file. I'm going to save that in my documents folder as test.txt. Save. Choose file. It's in my documents. Test. Select. Upload that. I have image there, but at the end of the day, it should just say upload file. That was my fault. Week lesson, uploads, and there it is. So we're able to upload all kinds of things. Let's take a look now at how we can use those things that we've uploaded in order to be useful for us.